Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or if you'd like to donate to my ministry and the charities that I give to, you can do so at garethcahoon3@gmail.com on PayPal. This one here is my future pick for the future Prime Minister of Israel. Who is he and what does he stand for? Moshe Feiglin is an Israeli political figure known for his right-wing libertarian leaning nationalist views. His basic background: he was born in 1962 in Haifa, Israel, former member of Israel's parliament for the Knesset, serving from 2013 to 2015, originally part of the Likud party where he led a faction called Jewish Leadership. Political activity: he later founded his own party known as Zehut, which means merit, in 2015. His political his politics combined strong Israeli nationalism, libertarian economics, free market ideas, advocacy for policies like annexing territories and at times legalizing cannabis, activism and controversies. He became prominent in the 1990s for protesting the Oslo Accords through civil disobedience, which led to a prison sentence. He has made highly controversial statements about Palestinians and the Israeli Palestinian conflicts, which critics describe as extreme or inflammatory, but they're actually just normal right wing sentiments and held by a majority of Israelis. Current re- relevance: he is currently not a major figure in the government but remains active in Israeli politics, discourse, and media. However, I heard in an interview the other night that he is planning to run for Prime Minister in the next upcoming election. In short, Moshe Feiglin is a former Israeli lawmaker and activist known for hardline nationalist positions and is outspoken and often controversial, but isn't everybody these days? Views on Israel's future and the Palestinian issues. Here are some of the most notable and controversial positions associated with Moshe Feiglin, explained with context so you can understand why they've drawn attention. The Israeli Palestinian conflict: Feiglin has taken very hard line positions. He has advocated for Israel's sovereignty over all of the West Bank, which I totally agree with, because in the Bible, God claims that that whole land is Israel's as an everlasting right, which many Palestinians and much of the international community see as occupied territory. At times, he has proposed that Palestinians in Gaza or the West Bank should be encouraged or pressured to immigrate elsewhere. Yes, I agree with that too, to some of the 56 Muslim nations. But the reason that they don't want to take them in is because they have enough radicals without taking in half of Hamas and Gazans who have extreme views on the Israeli Palestinian conflict. At times, he has proposed the critics argue that these ideas amount to forced displacement, while supporters frame them as security driven or ideological. The Temple Mount, known as Haram al Sharif. Feiglin has supported Jewish prayer rites at the Temple Mount, a highly sensitive religious site and also sacred in Islam, but it was the original Jewish temple after all. And Jewish prayers have been allowed um, on the Temple Mount in this past year alone. He has even suggested rebuilding a Jewish temple there. There's a This is extremely controversial because the site is central to both Judaism and Islam. Any perceived change to its status quo can trigger regional tensions or violence. This is what the detractors say anyway. Statements in Gaza: During conflicts with Gaza, Feiglin has made statements interpreted by critics as supporting very aggressive military action, including ideas that raise concerns about civilians' harms. These remarks have been widely condemned internationally, but most things are that Israelis say. Libertarian policies less controversial but notable. Interestingly, not all his views are hardline nationalist. He supports free market economics, advocates lower taxes and reduced government intervention, backed the legalization of cannabis, a relatively unusual stance in Israeli right-wing politics. Why he's polarising. Supporters see him as principled, ideological, and willing to challenge political norms. Critics view his ideas as extreme, impractical, or ethnically troubling, especially regarding Palestinians. Moshe Feiglin is an Israeli political activist and former member of the parliament, the Knesset, and I think he is the right leader to lead Israel into the future because we need a strong right wing leader in Israel um, that will stand for all the people, not just the ultra Orthodox, um, which Bibi has done to many Israelis are. And it's not that I have fallen out of love with Bibi Netanyahu. I think he is the best prime minister that Israel has ever had. But there was a security breach on October 7th, and it led to something that was absolutely major, the killing of 1,200 men, women, and children, and the taking of 251 uh, Israelis captive into Gaza, in which many didn't return or did return in body bags. So Moshe Feiglin is a strong right wing leader who believes in Israel's sovereignty over the West Bank, which I have stated for years should never have been given back to the Palestinians because they only turned it into a rocket factory. And instead of Israel maybe getting one rocket a week over 20 years ago to hundreds, if not thousands, of rockets a week now. And we need strong blood and a determined mind to get the job done. Israel needs to be secure and our people need to be free. And the Temple Mount needs to be rebuilt. The temple needs to be rebuilt, should I say, on the Temple Mount where it belongs. And Moshe Feiglin, I believe, is the right man for the job. So pray for his protection, for his leadership, and for his morals. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.